Hey, what's happening, Disney Vision? This is Guy01, and welcome to this week's Versus episode on the Walkthrough Journal. This week, it's Beth Phoenix against Alexa Bliss. Now, I'm going to come out right up front and say that this was not the match that I intended to do, but this was the only one that I really could do. There were a few birthdays this past week, and before I forget to mention it, today, November 30th, would have been Kevin Conroy's birthday. He would have turned 69. That was the thing I forgot to mention in the Arkham Knight video. I knew I was forgetting to say something, and that was it. So, yes. Because I swear that always happens every year where... Because I always film it ahead of time, by like a couple days. So I always miss it, but it always works out that I upload like a Batman video on Kevin Conroy's birthday or something like that. I didn't say it in the Arkham video, but I got it in this one, which is, this is coming out the same day, so I guess it works. But also we had 3 birthdays for wrestlers. It was all women's birthdays. Beth Phoenix's birthday was November 24th, she turned 44. Ivory's birthday, November 26th, she turned 63, and I was like, am I reading that right? There's no way she's 63, because that would have been like she was like 40 when she was wrestling, right? Like, even as I'm saying this, I'm like, I hope that's right. I hope I'm not... I hope I'm not, like, seeing the wrong age and I'm saying something that's, like, wrong. Because I feel like that'd be kind of like a jerk move to, like, say that someone's, like, 10 years older than they are. But, like, no, she's actually in her 60s. Which means, like, she was in her 40s when she was wrestling, which is crazy. And then there was also Naomi's birthday, which is today, November 30th. She turns 37 today. So I went into this thinking, okay, Beth Phoenix versus, well, and then I was like, okay, who's all in the game? I wasn't sure about Ivory. And I was like, okay, if Ivory's not in it, then I would just do Beth Phoenix versus Naomi, because of course Naomi's going to be in it. But then I realized as I was setting this matchup, Naomi isn't in this game either. I completely forgot that she wasn't in this game. Because I think she was with TNA at the time this game came out. Which is, again, just kind of crazy how quickly things change. So, then why are we doing it with Alexa Bliss? Well, Alexa Bliss has been in the news recently, with reports coming out that she is set to make an imminent return to WWE as soon as the Royal Rumble, which is only in like 2 months now. So we'll have to see how she comes back, if she comes back as part of the Wyatt 6 storyline or comes back as something separately. And if she does come back, you know, and is involved with the Wyatt 6 storyline, will it be as an ally or as an opponent? Or someone who gets, like, converted to being part of the Wyatt 6? Because that could be a fun story in itself. Or you go the opposite direction and she tries to get Nikki Cross out of it. And we see, like, the softer side of Alexa Bliss, who is trying to, like, save someone who, you know, got through her walls and that kind of thing. And in addition to that, it was also kind of fitting that this was a women's matchup, because the women wrestlers have been in the news recently, just in general. Not only do we have a tournament currently going on to determine the first ever Women's United States Champion, but on Monday Night Raw this past week, Adam Pearce announced the creation of the Women's Intercontinental title, and announced that a tournament will be going on to crown the first Women's Intercontinental Champion. So they're really filling out, like, the women's division, like, with championships and secondary titles, which hopefully they don't go too far into that, because while they do have a good amount of women, female wrestlers now, you don't want to go too far to the point where you have the same, like, 3 or 4 people feuding over the same title non-stop. So it's one of those things where make sure, if you're going to be introducing all these titles, make sure you have a roster big enough to fight for them. Ooh. So now we'll have 2 tournaments going on, one for the Women's United States Championship and one for the Intercontinental title. Man, everyone's going for, like, for these tournament things, like everyone, like, swear the NBA started this with like that in-season tournament thing, which is also going on currently. And now, with the introduction of this, this Intercontinental title, now the question is, okay, who are you going to have be the first Women's United States Champion, and then now who are you going to have be the first Women's Intercontinental Champion? Because those are two pretty big firsts for women's wrestling, and whoever gets that, title of the first, it's a pretty big deal. Thank you, Byron. Whoop. Boom. So continuing with Raw, the Creed brothers beat Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee in a continuation of the rivalry between American Made and the LWO. Ah, crap. Ow. No. Ah. Yeah, me. Ah, dang it. I thought I caught her. Alright. Oh, come on. Ow. Uh-oh. I don't know what's going on there. Ow. Got her. Come here. And up you go. Braun Breaker faced Ludwig Kaiser in a match for the Intercontinental Championship. The match ended when Sheamus attacked Kaiser to cause a DQ. Adam Pearson came out and announced that at Survivor Series, the Intercontinental title will be defended in a triple threat between Braun, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser. Which I feel is kind of weird that they're just now announcing that match, or at least making it official less than a week before Survivor Series, which is later today when this comes out. I feel like that's something WWE have been doing recently, and by recently I mean the past few years, where they keep adding matches throughout the month, and even the week of the pay-per-view, you don't have all of them set up yet, and I feel like it just doesn't give them enough time to get hyped. I feel like every match should be announced at least 2 weeks before the pay-per-view. That gives you a full week of TV to hype it up, instead of it just being an add-on, especially if it's a title match. I mean, a match for the Intercontinental Championship at a big full pay-per-view, that should have been one of the first matches established. Uh-oh. Ow. God out. Oh crap. Ow. Oh no you don't. Alright, my turn. Yeah. Finn Balor and JD McDonough beat the War Raiders to retain the WWE Tag Team titles. Akira Tozawa and Otis beat Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, furthering the issues between the New Day members. Backstage, the two of them had a big argument, which resulted in the two of them going their separate ways. Ah, crap. I ran into that one. Aha, rope break. Oh, dang it. No. Ow. 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 My turn. Yeah, so it ends with the two of them going their separate ways, Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods, and coincidentally, next week WWE is holding a celebration of the 10-year anniversary of the New Day forming. So we can only expect that the blow-off to all this is going to happen next week during that celebration. And I believe, I can't remember if it's been exactly confirmed, but we can assume that, Big E's going to show up. for the 10-year anniversary, which I believe will be the first time he like appears on TV, like in the ring as part of a segment in a long time. Might be the first time since his injury, like, which was what, 2 years ago now at this point, 3 years at this point now, which is crazy to kind of think about. No. Now, does this lead to like Big E trying to like play peacemaker and try to get Kofi and Xavier back together, or does this kind of go into Big E getting, you know, brought back into wrestling, as he basically tries to maybe not play peacemaker, but he's going to put both of them in their place, or does he end up siding with one of them? We'll have to see. Bianca Belair beat Nia Jax with some assistance from Bayley in order to give the good guy, or good girl, good gal, I don't know what you say, the face team and the Women's War Games match the one person advantage. Which, you know, it's always kind of weird with those. I feel like it's always a better story when the bad guys have the one person advantage. It's just an easier story to tell that, you know, the good guys are the underdogs, they're fighting against the odds. It feels weird when the good guys are like double teaming like a bad guy. It's just kind of a weird dynamic when the good guys have an advantage over the bad guys. And up you go. And down you come. Oh. Alright, what are my other moves? Hold on. Accordion rack. Put up strong. Okay, so two submission moves and then the glam slam. I don't know what that was, but okay. Moving on to SmackDown, Shinsuke Nakamura beat Andrade Cien Almas in a great match. Definitely match of the night and arguably match of the week for WWE. After the match, LA Knight tried to attack Shinsuke Nakamura, but Shinsuke Nakamura missed him before he got the chance. Cody Rhodes beat Carmelo Hayes. Mia Yim beat Piper Niven and Lash Legend to get the one... No, that wasn't for it. I was about to say to get the woman advantage in the War Games match, but that was the other match on Raw. This was for the U.S. title tournament. So Mia Yim moved on in the tournament, eliminating Piper Niven and Lash Legend to advance. The War Games match was the main event, which saw Jacob Fatu beat Jey Uso in order to give the new bloodline the one-man advantage in the War Games match. And that was it for Raw and SmackDown. So, again, Survivor Series is this week, or not this week, today. It'll be interesting to see what they do. There's a lot of ifs and, or like, will they, won't they's. Probably the most prominent one is, what are they going to do with the Bloodline storyline? How is CM Punk going to play into this? Because there's so many ways they could go with this. They could have CM Punk double-cross the OG Bloodline. They could have Paul Heyman double-cross the OG Bloodline, because that was something that we mentioned last week, how Paul Heyman made his return and, you know, brought in CM Punk. Something that a lot of people pointed out is that the suit that Paul Heyman was wearing when he made his return is very similar to the suit that Solo Sikoa has been wearing the past few months, including like the red handkerchief. So a lot of people have been pointing that out, and is that a sign that Paul's really working with the new bloodline? If that's true, and that's like how they were hinting at that, that's genius. That's genius foreshadowing. So we'll have to see where they go with this, because there's so many ways to go with it, and all of them were just really interesting. And yeah, what do you guys think of another mid-card women's title? Like I said, I'm glad that they're giving like more titles to the women's division, because I do feel they have enough now. I feel like for the first time, WWE's women's division is actually full enough to warrant mid-card titles. Is it enough to warrant 3 mid-card titles as well as 2 world titles? That's 5 titles going around, and you know, it seems like it's always the same 5 or 6 people challenging for them. So there might be a problem with adding more titles to that. But we'll have to see, because you know, WWE could also be bringing in a lot of new people during Rumble season. So we'll have to see what happens in the coming weeks and months. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I make new videos all the time. Stay tuned for next week's Versus, and next week we'll continue our Batman Arkham Knight walkthrough. Hope you guys enjoyed. This is Guy01 and Beth Phoenix signing out. Bye guys.